Hello and welcome to Inside Butler Football. I'm your substitute host, Ari Castle. The Butler football team came out victorious against Stetson University in the Bowl on Saturday with a 35-15 victory, improving to 2-0 in the Pioneer Football League Conference. In the second one, we will be joined by Butler head football coach Jeff Forrest to talk about last week's game and the games ahead. Stay with us for Inside Butler Football. Welcome to Inside Butler Football. Thanks for being here today, Coach.
Good to be here.
We're going inside the Stetson game review. Big win for the program. The game was actually delayed 35 minutes prior to kickoff. Did that affect the team's overall performance, do you think?
Well, I mean, you try to prepare for everything, and that's it's hard to practice, the delay. So I'm sure it had a little effect. But we had our normal hour warm-up. It was just a little bit longer between your normal meetings and pregame meal than they normally have. So I'm sure it affected something. But defensively, we started strong and got into the game and eventually got rolling in all three phases.
You brought up the defense. The defense had another great game, giving up fewer than 300 yards of offense and forcing 2 safeties, which is always rare. Now that we're at the halfway point of the season, what do you think has been with defense's biggest improvements starting from the beginning of the season until now? Well,
I think you're seeing the benefits of a lot of guys playing. We've had to play a lot of guys, so you're getting experience across the board at all kinds of different positions. We've done a nice job in the red zone. That was an emphasis back in spring that we wanted to work on, and we continue to hold teams to field goals, and then the last couple weeks get some turnovers down there and give up no points at all. We're doing better each week on getting off the field on third down, which is critical. And that's what they did Saturday. They came out, I think, the first 7 drives or something were punts or turnovers or safeties when the offense was trying to find themselves. The defense really did a great job of keeping us in the ball game.
You mentioned the turnovers. Butler currently leads the league with 9 interceptions, over the first 6 games. What has the defense done really well to force all these turnovers?
Well, I mean, it's a trust in your teammate and ability to be in, do your job and be in the right spot. I think that's the biggest thing is when you try to force something, when you try to, do more than you're supposed to do, a lot of times you get out of position and give up big plays. Our guys are doing a great job of just doing their job and being in the right place at the right time. And with our front group, we're got a veteran defensive line and are able to put some pressure on the quarterback in different ways to create some errant throws where secondary guys are there and doing their job. So it's 11 guys playing together that are creating those turnovers.
Transitioning from defense to the offensive side of the ball, the team came out to a slow start in the first half, but really got it together coming out of halftime, scoring 2 touchdowns. What was the biggest difference between the 2 halves?
Well, I mean, we'd like to start with more urgency and faster offensively, but each game's a little bit different. And we knew going into this one that schematically they were different than anything we'd seen, and you don't see their plan a lot. So it took us a while to get our feet on the ground and just figure out what they were going to do to us. At that point, you tip your hat to the defense again for keeping us in it, and offensively, we made some adjustments and were able to take advantage of some of the things they were doing. I think the big thing offensively is we just kept playing. Not every drive, went for scores, and we had to punt it back to them, play field position a lot. But eventually, we figured it out, and we were playing with confidence and doing our job at that point, and good things started to happen.
It's a different-looking lineup this week, as both of your redshirt senior wide receivers were inactive for the game. How do you think the younger receivers really stepped up to the challenge of filling those shoes?
Yeah, I think across the board, our the next man up mentality. We're not going to change our expectations based on who's in the game, and the young guys have stepped up. Not only the receivers this week, and you see some great play. There's a highlight of Marquise's catch. Not just the receivers, but across the board. We've been a couple men down for 6 straight weeks, and someone stepped up and made plays, and we did it at Jacksonville and earlier on in the season. So it's continuing to prepare like you're a starter and be ready to go when your number's called, and we've been fortunate so far the guys have done that.
All right, Coach, we're going to take a look at some highlights now
Great.
from the game. Now, first play, touchdown-saving tackle by David Burke. QB breaks off in a huge run, the Stetson quarterback. Touchdown-saving tackle. How big was this play in order to stop the drive?
No, it's huge. I mean, our mentality defensively is we just got to keep them in front of you and make them line up again and make another play. And we didn't do a good job as far as containing the pocket, but David never quit on the play, and that tackle then allowed us to, they had to force them to line up again, and they end up not scoring. So that's a huge play in the game.
Second play, the team had two safeties this week. The first play we're going to look at, safety by Jesse Corral. What did he do right in order to force the safety? Well,
I mean, we're running a little bit of a movement here on the line, and he comes down, does a great job of, getting skinny, dipping and ripping and finishing at the quarterback. You can see there's a lot of blue shirts there. So that was critical. It's 7-0 at that point. And again, you talk about complementary football. That play Jesse made was set up by a punt that was down at the 2-yard line. So without the special teams providing this situation, you don't know if you get that first safety, but that was big points in the game, especially offensively, struggling a little bit early on.
Looking at the offensive end, third down, Marquise Martin-Hayes, crucial third down conversion. This play eventually led to a TD. How important was this catch?
I mean, he made a couple big catches on the day, but this one was really special. I mean, Matt gets the ball out, but Marquise goes and gets it. Not only catches it, but gets his foot in bounds, and that was critical because we got a drive going, we got some momentum going, and this is really the spark that led to a couple, 2 or 3 scores in a row.
Yeah, really great catch.
Yeah, great catch.
Last play, Rico Watson, a long TD run. This put you guys up by 2 scores. How important was this score in order to get that 2-touchdown lead and that cushion?
Well, I mean, yeah, the cushion always helps. We've been working through schematically what they were doing and everything, and the line did a great job. I mean, we ended up rushing for 250 yards or something. A lot of it in the second half once we got a plan together, and you can see there from that highlight we do a good job of getting a hat on a hat, and Rico does a nice job of bringing the unblocked guy, backside, and then makes the cut and goes. And he's done a great job. He's a really improved football player and does a great job, in tandem with Trey Heater.
All right. Thanks for the insight, Coach.
No worries.
Welcome back to Get to Know Your Bulldogs section of the show. It's when we bring in one of the upperclassmen, talk about their time in the Butler football program. This week we are joined by Brett Shannon, Jr., redshirt junior defensive end.
Yep.
All right, Brett. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First question, where are you from, and talk about your high school, too?
I'm from Geneva, Illinois, which is a western suburb of Chicago. So Geneva Community High School. Went there, played there for 4 years.
So when did you start playing football?
I didn't actually start playing contact until 7th grade. My mom wouldn't let me before that, she thought I was going to get hurt. So I dabbled in some other sports, but when I found football, I definitely knew it was the one.
So coming out of high school, what were your top college choices? Who were you being recruited by?
I actually transferred into Butler. I went to Air Force Academy first. So out of high school, I was talking to the service academies, all of them, some of the Ivy League schools, some of the MAC schools. But Air Force Academy felt right, went there, and I tore my shoulder first week of camp and didn't like the school at all either. So transferred out and found myself here. I took a visit here and really liked the guys, the team. So besides for the guys on the team, obviously, what besides Butler stood out for you from all the other schools you were looking at? Well, after I left Air Force, I kind of knew I needed to find the right fit. Air Force just wasn't the right fit. I didn't want to get recruiting wrong twice. I didn't want to go to the wrong school twice. So I tried to really take time on that decision this time around. So the other schools I was talking to a lot of other D1 AA schools, like in the Missouri Valley Conference, and just something about here felt different. The team just felt different than this team. Felt like it wanted to win and was focused on football. You went to some of the other ones, and it kind of felt like football was almost on the back burners. They were more concerned about other things. So this one just felt right, and it's worked out.
So in your Butler career, what has been the most memorable moment?
Butler career, last year winning conference was pretty special. And then for me, probably I tore my other shoulder my sophomore year, so being able to battle back from those injuries has been pretty special to me.
So when you leave the program after you graduate, what are some things you're going to take away?
I think just the work ethic, coming every day, showing up to practice, and having to put in that stuff on top of doing all the schoolwork and stuff like that. And then just the determination and the hard work, really, I think will get carried over into the real world and business world. So
it's kind of along the same lines, but how would you describe the time you spent with this team and with this program?
I mean, it's definitely been a good experience. It's been a lot of fun. Winning's fun. So last year was a great year, obviously tied for the PFL. So anytime you can do that, it's good and it's enjoyable. I mean, it's definitely stressful at times. It's a lot of stuff to do, to go to practice every day and show up in the off season to all the workouts, but it's definitely rewarding at the end.
So last question, as you get ready now in the next coming years to exit the program, any advice you'd give to the underclassmen or incoming recruits?
Definitely work hard and put everything you have into it. And I don't know, I mean, being hurt those couple times, it definitely makes you realize how special it is just being able to play every day. I definitely try and not take anything for granted. Every time I even get to come out and practice, I try and make the best out of it because you never know when it's going to be your last snap. So
it's a good attitude to have for everything.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for coming in today, Brett.
Yeah,
really appreciate it. After this, we're going to take a look at next week's game against Campbell. Stay with us. Back here on Inside Butler Football with head coach Jeff Forrest. This Saturday, homecoming against Campbell. We've played them the last couple of years, but this year the team has a new head coach, former NFL player Mark Minter. How does the new coaching personnel really change the team from last year?
Well, I mean, they're doing a lot of things similar. Schematically, it's a lot of the same players naturally. I think the biggest thing when you get into it is just how you see on tape how they're playing other teams. It's that you're unfamiliar on how they're going to play you. So you're trying to, put together a game plan without knowing a lot about the staff. So that part's, makes it a little bit interesting. But, once you get into the game, you're going to make your adjustments and go. They are, they got some players. They got some they got some veteran guys that have been around that are taken to their new scheme very well. So it'll be a great challenge for us.
The previous game against Stetson, you guys came out of the second half really firing on all cylinders. For this week, what does the offense need to do in order to come out with that same kind of momentum in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, just continued preparation, maybe a little bit better preparation, a little bit more focus on Tuesday. Doing the things you need to do to get ready, a little bit more, study time on your own. It's the nice thing is, scheme-wise, they're similar to Stetson. So, they're that option-based offense that we saw last week. They're multiple in personnel and formation, so preparation defensively will be important, and having seen it, similar stuff last week will help, and offensively it's the same deal. They're a multiple defensive package that we have to have 3 or 4 plans set up based on whether they're going to play man zone or how they're going to try to press you and things. So we have a lot of preparation to do, and the better we do on that, the faster our start will be.
Campbell has been really impressive on offense this year. Third in total offense, first in rushing offense. What does our defense have to do in order to contain the run? Well,
I mean, you got to play gap sound football and run to the ball, and I think your preparation allows you to do that, to understand tendencies based on the personnel in the game or the formation they're in. Be sound in your assignment, be in your gap, be where you're supposed to be, and then run to the football. And we've been doing a good job at that, but we're going to be tested this week. There's no question they're really good on offense.
All right. Good luck on Saturday, Coach.
Appreciate it.
We thank you for joining us on our 6th episode of Inside Butler Football. We appreciate your time. That will do it for this week's episode of Inside Butler Football. Thanks for watching.